Speaking of saving lives, let's talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Once again, another plane has flipped yesterday, arriving at the Toronto airport. Many people will say it's actually icy conditions. I say it's DEI. Turns out it is DEI or die, okay? Not the other way around. Planes are flipping left and right. Planes are falling out of the sky, folks. And if you're wondering why that's happening, let me tell you, okay? Turns out it was not just a buzzword. Turns out it was holding everything together. It was holding what remains of our capitalist eroded institutions together. Okay. It was the tape that held everything. Pete Buttigieg, the gay sex he was having, was literally making sure that transportation maintained, like commerce could flow. Okay. If Pete Buttigieg was a straight man, you guys thought Palestine, Ohio was bad. Okay. He held it together. Do you understand? And we had no idea. I was so wrong. And I apologize. Pete Buttigieg, I apologize to you, sir. It turns out you were keeping it all together. We were wrong. Me, but with pilots when I get on a plane now.
How you doing, my man? What can I get you?
My man? Yeah, can I get a large caramel sassafras, please?
My guy, that's one of my favorites.
My guy? Hold on, man. Hold on. I'm not seeing no tote bag.
Oh, I don't got one. I got a backpack.
A backpack? Okay, it looks like you haven't dyed your hair in months. Are you stable?
I've never dyed my hair.
You've never dyed your hair?
Yeah, no. We don't with coffee shops that don't have at least one employee with a septum piercing. Okay. And we don't with airlines that don't have pilots that are at least in a polyamorous relationship. You understand me? I want, at the very least, for my pilot to say he, she, or they, or ze, zim, zer, it, whatever you want, neo pronouns, I don't give a to tell me that they are ace aromantic. I'm not getting on no plane until the pilot tells me that they're ace aromantic, okay? And they got bipolar disorder or DID, it, I don't even care. Something, okay? We gotta have pronouns in the cockpit. We need more pronouns in the mother cockpit. I'll say it. I'm sick and tired of it. We need it. If you are a straight white man, okay? If you're a straight white man, I want nothing to do with you. If you are a straight white man, you need to drop everything, okay? You are no longer allowed. You need to go suck a dick, okay? At least one penis before you can man the joysticks again, okay? You understand me? I'm done. We're done. We're done with this whole no DEI. We're done, okay? It's like, what, a month in with no DEI? Planes are falling out of the sky every goddamn day. We can't do this. We f***ed up. Bring it back. Bring it back instantly.
We're going to begin this morning, though, with the incredible stories of survival after the terrifying crash of a Delta flight. Guarantee you've never seen anything like this before. Take a look. The video shows the plane as it skids, catches fire, and then flips upside down. That's right, a plane upside down on the tarmac as it lands at Toronto's Pearson Airport.
I think it's pretty crazy, by the way. It is a testament to plane safety that this right here led to 0 deaths, just so you understand. Like, that is crazy, okay? That's number one. Number two, Austin, well, my plane expert said that this was very unlikely due to pilot error. Don't know if the pilots were like, you know, gay, black, white, woke, all jokes aside, you know, the whole DEI narrative aside. This was most likely pilot error, it seems.
We're learning more about a couple of the people who were more seriously injured, a 40-year-old woman, a 60-year-old man, both in critical condition this morning. 16 other passengers walked away with minor injuries, but still there are so many questions about how this crash happened in the first place.
I mean, the video itself.
New video shows the moment a Delta regional jet crash landed at the Toronto Pearson Airport Monday afternoon. You see it catch fire as it skids across the tarmac before rolling.
Pilot error, but like pilot had crosswinds, wind shear, and other factors to consider. Yeah, I mean, he came in too hot. There's crosswinds, and then, you know,
over, surrounded by a plume of black smoke. TMZ obtained this angle of the crash landing.
I'm done, dude. How is it TMZ that is like always doing just peak journalism? What the f is going on, man? Never seen these plane crashes in all 30 years of my living. Yeah, I mean, look, do you want my honest assessment now that we're done making jokes about DEI and stuff? Everything in Western society, okay, virtually everything is getting marginally worse and worse due to the profit motive. This didn't magically happen overnight once Trump became president. That is precisely the reason why it's not gay or black people that are at fault for all of these plane crashes, just like it wasn't gay or black people at fault when Boeing planes were having their doors explode mid-flight. Okay. And this is, by the way, yet another Boeing plane for the record. So, I mean, it could possibly be that there was some sort of error on the landing gear side too. But the reality of the matter is, it's just enshittification. No, it's not. It's not a Boeing plane. Oh, it's a Bombardier. It's a Mitsubishi CRJ. Okay, regardless, every single type of plane, every company that creates products that are supposed to have 700 different types of redundancies have been cutting corners nonstop. The other side of the story, the other side of the issue is also, ironically, labor related, because there are a million different hands that are supposed to touch everything that we take for granted, that we assume is just safe to either consume, services that we take advantage of, all the way from the luggage handlers to flight attendants to actual pilots to air traffic control. Every aspect of this hit by constant efficiency seeking, profit seeking corporate overlords that basically cut the existing labor force to the best of their ability. Okay. And it's happening. It was happening under the Biden administration. It's happening under the Trump administration at an alarming rate as well. Okay. Are you afraid of flying? No, I'm still not afraid of flying. But the reality of the matter is, it's not just flight. It's not just air travel. Every aspect of American society, every aspect of the Western world has these exact same issues. And slowly but surely, deregulation and mass layoffs at the behest of efficiency, making a smaller workforce do the job of a much larger workforce, like overworking a reduced workforce over and over again, is inevitably going to lead to more issues like this. It's not just going to make air travel worse, it's going to make everything worse. And it already has made everything worse. I think there's another part of this that obviously creates like more panic because more people focus on otherwise like commonplace incidents as well. And then they package them with like significantly larger problems. Like, this story is a big deal. Luckily, there was no fatalities, and it's packaged alongside a much larger story with a mid-air collision, and it's packaged alongside like, the Japanese the pilots in Seattle, Tacoma experiencing like a minor bump after landing while during when they're basically taxiing. Right? That's not as significant, but in your mind, you just see like so many plane incidents over and over again, and you basically start assuming that it's just planes are falling out of the sky nonstop. Okay, this one would have always made the news. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just talking about like two planes colliding after, like briefly colliding after, during taxi is that's commonplace. It's not like that significant, but it becomes a significant story because there's a lot of aviation incidents that are in the news. I reported on this after the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment. People hyper-focused on train derailments, not realizing that there were more than 1,000 train derailments, both large and small, every single year. Are you saying incidents are not rising? No. That's not what I'm saying at all. There are definitely a lot of incidents that are high profile for good reason. But I think that still, if you're asking me like, is it truly like unsafe to travel? I don't think so. At least not yet. Like for me, what am I going to do? Not fly? Well, I have to. You know what I mean?
Flight attendants and crew members rushed to help stunned passengers strapped upside down in their seatbelts escape the wreckage.
But it was just cement and metal,
Pete Carlson, who was traveling to a paramedics conference, was on the frightening flight.
All of a sudden, everything just kind of went sideways. And then next thing I know is kind of a blink and I'm upside down, still strapped in.
He says he knew he had to get off the plane quickly.
Took my seatbelt off, which I had obviously left fastened for the landing. And as I took it off, crashed down onto the ceiling, which had become the floor.
Passengers looked on in shock as emergency.
Is this why you fly private? I mean, ironically enough, private aviation is significantly more dangerous than commercial air travel. I've heard a lot of people talking about how like, oh, Elon's going to gut like the FAA or take control over the FAA or air traffic control. And, you know, even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was talking about like, well, we should force Elon to like travel commercial then. And it's funny to say that because it doesn't really change the dynamic at all. Private air travel also relies on like the National Weather Service, for example, or air traffic control, and probably even more than even commercial air travel would have to rely on them. So the idea that like you can avoid if you fly private, you can avoid like air incidents due to limited funding for air traffic control is false.
Responders immediately began spraying down the plane's charred fuselage. Despite the devastating damage, officials say all 80 people on board, including 76 passengers and 4 crew members, survived.
It's really important that we do not speculate. What we can say is the runway was dry and there was no crosswind conditions.
At the time of the incident, visibility was down to 6 miles, and there were wind gusts up to 37 miles per hour. Air traffic control was heard warning the pilots.
Might get a slight bump in the glide path. There'll be an aircraft in front of it.
Billy Nolan, former acting FAA administrator, calls it a remarkable escape.
A bit miraculous to wind upside down, and yet we've got 80 folks who walk off this plane and with no fatality. So I'll mark that as a win for us.
Yeah, it's true.
And I want to read
it's
you
a testament to the safety, if anything. Like, even in a situation like that, that's wild. It's wild that there was 0 fatalities in that. I'm sorry. That's just insane. Ain't no miracle. Credit a top-notch union cabin crew from AFA-CWA and layers of science-backed FAA safety guidelines about everything from airframe design to seatbelt strength to evacuation speed. No passengers died in part because the government workers did their job. And the more you undermine each aspect of this, as private corporations desperately try to do on a daily basis, the more you make sure that these quote-unquote miracles don't happen. It is no more a miracle than the concept of flight to begin with. Understandably, air travel has to be unimaginably safe. Understandably, it is an affront to God that you're up in the sky flying around, okay? It is ridiculous. So obviously, it has to be incredibly safe. There is a tremendous amount of redundancies built into commercial air travel in general. There are also an insane amount of safety and regulation that comes in that is supposed to be working in real time, not just in the building of the equipment, but also in terms of like regulating air travel in general.
Well, it's certainly very unusual, but clearly something that was thought about when they designed not only the aircraft, but those seats. The seats are designed to withstand many times the force of gravity. And if you ever wanted a lesson as to why people tell you to wear your seatbelts on the airplane, this was it.
Bro, I'm keeping it $150. I'm never taking those off, dude. I was Mr. I'm taking the seatbelt off instantly as soon as the rubber hits the road. Okay, I'm Mr. Efficiency. I'm Mr. Min-maxing. I always take the seatbelt off immediately. Okay, as soon as the light turns off, as soon as the seatbelt light turns off, I'm like, pfft. Or as soon as the plane lands, the moment that the plane lands, phone's on, off of airplane mode, seatbelts off. Never again. Never again.
In those seats saved lives. The flight attendants, you hear when you're coming into land that they need to prepare the cabin for landing, and they go through and they collect glasses and everything else, things that could become projectiles. They tell you to put your bags away and your laptops away. The reason
I never fully understood it until now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it now. I totally get it now. I'm clapping for the pilots as long as they're gay, okay? I'm not clapping for no white male pilots, let me tell you, okay? Or if I'm clapping for a white male heterosexual pilot, I'm assuming that they're in a polyamorous relationship in my headcanon. The white male pilots are all cheating on their spouses anyway? Yeah, with me. We're gay now, okay? No more heterosexual pilots. No more heterosexuality. It's over, okay? Delta flight flipped. Crazy happening in the world. What the A Delta flight carrying roughly 80 passengers from Minnesota appears to have crash landed at Toronto Pearson Airport. No casualties have been reported as of this time. Numerous photos and videos have released showing passengers safely exiting the plane, which flipped upside down. At least 8 people are injured. Paramedics say, what the hell is, what? What the is happening, bro? How did it flip? Icy conditions, sure, but like, how did it flip over? I guess it landed and then it flipped? Bro, we got to get back to DEI ASAP. Chat, I'm not even joking when I say this. It's DEI time, dude. It's DEI or die, okay? It turns out we needed DEI. Turns out we can't trust white people. Bring back DEI now. Bring it back now. We need it. We need it so bad. We need it so desperately, okay? I need my pilot to have multiple pronouns, okay? I need my pilot to have the most pronouns. We have to get it. We have to get it back. I want they, them pilots. Fuck it. I want zer pilots, okay? That's what I want. I want the entirety of air traffic control to have septum rings. I'm never hiring a clean cut. I am never hiring a clean cut air traffic control person ever again. Okay. Do you have a septum ring? You're in. Okay. You have to at least be bisexual to do ATC stuff. I want every pilot to be trans, dude. Every single one. This is unacceptable. The planes keep crashing and they will not stop until virtually everyone involved is they, them. Okay. The last story of today, before we move on to other stuff. At least 3, including child, critically injured after Delta planes crash landing in Toronto. I covered it briefly in the morning when it first happened. You already know planes go up, they're going to come down and crash. Okay. Why? Because we're in the age where there's no DEI, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It turns out it was always DEI or die.
Hello, everyone. I'm Major Garrett coming to you from New York City. We start tonight with breaking news. 1 child and 2 adults have been critically injured. That's what authorities say after a Delta flight from Minneapolis flipped upside down at Toronto's Pearson Airport. As you can see, the runway is covered with snow, and there were wind gusts, crosswind gusts of up to 40 miles per hour at the time of this crash. 14 people in all, authorities tell us, were transported to area hospitals. I want to bring in commercial airline pilot Laura Einsettler. I hope that I've got that right, Laura, for your assessment.
Yeah, we need more Lauras. Laura shouldn't be on television. She should be manning the plane, or rather, womaning the plane. Do you understand? There's your problem. All the female pilots got fired for DEI, and now they're on television instead of flying the planes.
Of what we've seen, and as people look at these astonishing pictures of a commercial airliner upside down on a snowy runway, your initial thoughts?
We're in Toronto. But the situation is very tragic, of course. The great part about this, in the sense that the cabin is mostly intact, but we will have to determine exactly what it is that happened and why this happened.
And as you look at it, it is a tragic situation. The initial reports seem to be much more positive than our deepest fears would have reasonably led us to suspect, looking at a commercial airliner upside down. That has to be testament to the crew.
They're going to be looking at different factors that are involved in this, such as the gusty wind conditions.
Guys, planes do that when there's no DEI, okay? That's it.
Conditions. It is very challenging, especially in February, to be.
Bro, let me tell you, you bet your ass I'm keeping that on the seatbelt. You know how they're always like, oh, please keep your seatbelts fastened until the plane comes to a full halt, and everybody always takes them off. And by everybody, I mean I always take it off. The moment that the rubber hits that goddamn runway, I'm like, all right, time to take the seatbelt off. Going forward, never again. You understand me? I'm keeping them on until after people get up, okay? I'm testing the waters. I'm like, you can get up and try to grab your bag before me. It's all good. It's all good, baby. We ain't going nowhere. Never been a stickler for this kind of safety measure. I always am the type of person who thought that it's like not that big of a deal. Who cares? You know what I mean? I'm clapping every time a plane safely lands, okay? I'm clapping extra hard when we actually safely get out of the plane. And also on top of that, I'm not taking those seatbelts off.
It depends on the variables of the circumstances. So how strong were the wind gusts, the capabilities, of course, of the aircraft and the crew, their experience. Were there any larger jets possibly preceding this to kick off any wake turbulence in addition to gusty winds? What were the runway conditions, things of that nature?
None of this explains how this thing flipped. Like, please explain to me how a plane just flips upside down. As far as aviation incidents goes, this one is truly insane. I get the runway is icy. Fine. How does the plane flip? Body is round. If a ring whips off, it'll rotate like a ciggy.
Come on. Don't take no video.
Bro, you know the worst part about this is, because like luckily they all survived, right? The worst part about it is extracting your luggage from that. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. You ain't getting your luggage back. Let me tell you. Okay? You are not getting your luggage back. I don't think it's... Whoa. It's getting a handful.
Come on.
That's crazy. I didn't even notice that.
Don't take no video. Put that phone away. No.
Holy. 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 Oh my God. Yo, I was just on this plane.
That's so crazy.
Oh my God.
I'm grabbing my Steam Deck. I don't give a... Oh, yeah. You bet your freaking ass, dude. If my stream backpack is up above my head and now I'm like closer to it, I'm grabbing it. If you think I'm not grabbing my stream backpack and my remote desktop setup, both of which are carry-on items for this reason, you are out of your dang mind, okay? I'm grabbing it and I'm basically turning it on. I'm live streaming the process. I'm like, what's up, guys? You know, it turns out that DEI caused this incident. Now that we don't have DEI, you know, planes are falling out of the sky and we're here. I'm here. I'm live. I'm alive. No time for personal news. Yeah, you're right. Chat was still complaining about the lighting. Chat would be like, oh my God, the audio is so bad. Oh, the audio is so bad. America won one without DEI. Yeah, they don't make games like this anymore. All the games are now gay and woke. Trump has started firing hundreds of FAA employees. Nice. Developing. The Trump administration has started firing several hundred FAA probationary employees who maintain critical air traffic control infrastructure, according to their union. The move comes not even 3 weeks since the deadly mid-air collision over Washington, D.C. That's so awesome. That is so awesome. We're just bouldering towards the opposite thing that we're supposed to be doing. Amazing. That's cool. That's great. Oh, also this. The safety of air travel is a nonpartisan matter. SpaceX engineers will help make air travel safer. When I think of safety, I think of things that Elon Musk makes. Now, SpaceX, not as bad as Tesla, okay? But considering that it's Elon Musk, just learned a plane crash landed upside down right before this tweet. Trump right now. Can we make airplanes in the night sky become like shooting stars? Every airline pilot, now that they remove DEI.
Let's watch a pro.
You know what, Brad? I think... I think we might be done. I can't do it.
It's crazy how much Republicans can get away with, including but not limited to directly destroying the country. Like, they actually are committed to the project of undermining America piece by piece.